All right, Jonathan, welcome to the Open Storage Summit. Great to have you here. I know you've been a big fan of open storage and Nexenta. Can you maybe tell us or walk us through how you're using Nexenta Store in your different divisions or departments within Global Legal Discovery?
Sure. We have three main uses for Nexenta, and we have our in-house processing center where we basically demand really high IOPS, low latency, and very flexible capacity. We don't want to be locked into a proprietary model of buying disks or hardware. We need to be able to expand on demand, and we need those volumes to be portable and easily replicable. Okay. We also have our hosting environment, which is basically a web front end to a cloud hosted document repository. This has been a new service offering that we have come out with in the past year, which has resulted in a very good increase in revenue and customer retention, etc. Using the technologies through Nexenta and with our new service offerings, we've been able to truly provide an end-to-end service for our clients. Okay. The third application is the VMware environments. We're able to easily deploy VMs. We can deploy VMs from the vSphere layer, or we could clone the entire data store from Nexenta and create a new, replicate the entire environment immediately, almost by cloning a snapshot of a previous time of that same environment.
Okay, great, awesome. You talked a lot about backup and replication. I know we have some powerful features within the software. So how critical or how important are some of these features like cloning and backup and async features for you as a company in terms of meeting your business objectives?
Sure. Sure. I'll start off by talking about the value of the data in our industry. In our field, which is the legal industry, we service top tier law firms across the country. The importance of data integrity and the ability to recover data in the event of a loss is critical. When I try to sell my boss on a storage solution, he envisions being sued for data loss, and all of our clients are very competent litigators, so it'd be a bad position to be in. With the autosync feature, we are able to replicate our data both locally and remotely, completely in the background. It can be throttled, and it doesn't take a lot of resources, a lot of overhead to achieve that. So using autosync, we can have near real-time replication if necessary, or just weekly, monthly services, whatever that particular application calls for. That's about it there.
Okay. How about the hybrid storage pools? Are you using any SSDs? It looks like you have different workloads in your environment. How do you see the fact that Nexenta Store supports hybrid storage pools benefiting you?
Sure. The ability to use SSDs is crucial to our environments. One, it allows us to scale to what is a tier 1 performance environment. We have in the two main applications I mentioned, both the in-house data processing and the hosted cloud document repository, very different demands. In the processing center, we have both read cache and the SSDs used for the log device for writes as well, because we need that low latency on the writes with both SQL and the processing applications, because we process millions and millions of files at a time, and we try to crunch through that in a day or less, sometimes more. But the need to get through those amount of small files in that amount of time makes the ZIL device or the log device, which is the SSD write cache, crucial. In the hosted environment, it's all about the end user experience. So reads are most important. They're calling on information, they're searching indexes, etc. So the users widely report to us that they feel like our solution is more responsive, faster, and more stable than any other top tier competitor that they do business with. And we feel like that's attributed mainly to the cache functionality and use of SSDs in Nexenta.
All right, let's talk about maybe the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jonathan, I know Global Legal Discovery is kind of the pioneer in offering cloud-based services for legal law firms.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you went about choosing technologies for your infrastructure, specifically in this case storage, how did the cloud business model affect the choice of the vendors that you had to decide upon?
Sure. We knew going into it that we had to offer web-based services. So whether or not we considered that cloud at first, wasn't really a consideration. Once we got into the solution and realized the flexibility that we had with Nexenta, it actually inspired us to pursue new service offerings, such as replication of entire client environments by by converting those to virtual machines, and actually doing data collections after the fact in our premises, not on site bothering the clients, right? So we've been able to do remote backup, some cloud services, and offering desktop services and things like that, which we really wouldn't have even gone down that road had we not had access to all the features that we encountered with Nexenta.
Okay, great, awesome. So, in summary, Jonathan, if you were to list down kind of the top three benefits of using Nexenta Store in your premises, what would those be?
Sure. The biggest benefits we see are the ability to incorporate the hardware of our choosing, namely 10 gig Ethernet. That's a huge deal. That allows us to scale up to be a top tier provider rather than being trapped in any kind of proprietary infrastructure. Next, I would say the solid state, the ability to use SSD devices as a cache for both read and write. That's huge. Same effect allows us to have the horsepower of a top tier provider at a much lower cost than other alternatives. Lastly, I would say the advanced SAN features, such as everything from the replication, auto sync and auto tier, the auto snapshots, the ability to share via many protocols, iSCSI, NFS, etc., and then deduplication. All of those features really add up to a powerful solution for anybody who needs a storage appliance, but Nexenta is able to deliver that at a much lower price point and with a lot less of being locked in or being trapped in any sort of proprietary framework.
Perfect. Jonathan, it was a pleasure to have you here, and I know you're talking on other breakout sessions as well, and we look forward to that.
Cool.
All right, thank you.